Hi, my name is Nathan and welcome to ER Makers, your new home for science, technology, and engineering on YouTube. Come and join us as we go through and do various experiments and various projects, with, especially with our kids, where we can make this journey together as we learn about new engineering projects and technology that we can deal with. The kids and adults will all enjoy, that we can all do together, or you can just follow along as we do these projects with our kids. Some of them will be with the kids, some of them will not be. So join us as we embark on this journey together. Okay, for our very first project, we are going to be working on wireless LEDs. These are LEDs that do not require any kind of an external power source or any wires connected up to them. They use RF to receive the power that they will need to power them. They utilize an inductor, a capacitor, and an LED to create a complete circuit that is capable of receiving a wirelessly transmitted signal and converting that into power and to power the LED. These are very, very low power devices, and they're suitable for devices where you have enough space to build this stuff in an LED, but not really enough to be able to do anything else with that you can't put in wires. That you don't have a room for a power source. So, and we have a specific project that we're going to be doing with these. The creation of the LEDs is simply the first step. So we have a number of these. These are a commercially produced wireless LED. But you can see that they're actually pretty good size. Now, this is the one that we're going to make, which is a fraction of the size. Now, the caveat with that is that the smaller ones do have a smaller coil and require a little bit of a stronger transmitter in order to be able to get the power that they need. We will take you through the steps, show you how they work, guide you through the circuits, and show you how to make your own. The parts are easy enough to get, and I was able to make these for around half the price of the commercially produced ones that are currently available. And that was assuming that I was buying them directly from AliExpress. If you're buying them from Amazon or one of the other retailers in the US, your savings can be even greater than that. So we'll go through and produce these. This is part of a larger series that we're going to be doing that is based around the Brandon Sanderson book series of the Stormlight series. Now, in order to be able to produce one of the key items from the books, we have to be able to have a wirelessly powered light source. This is an example of something along the lines of what we were trying to make. This one is extremely bubbly, but it is one that we produced in this process. This is our end goal, although a better, clearer version of this is our end goal. We're still working on refining the process. Now, this has one of the wireless LEDs, as well as a simulated cut gem inside to create what are known as spheres in the book. They are used as a currency and have varying denominations based on color and size of the gem inside. Now, by utilizing this is actually the wireless power transmitter for these LEDs. You can see we're able to have them light up in the palm of our hand. The light is very, very dim on this because this little ring transmitter is very, very weak. It's powered off of a 5-volt power source from the computer, so USB, and we will also go through later on and recreate the circuit as a higher power circuit, so that we can actually make these glow a whole lot brighter. The goal, of course, with something like this is to be able to use them in cosplay and be able to, so you can actually have a bag of spheres that you can pull out and hold in your hand and have them glow as if they are infused with Stormlight. So follow along And come along with us as we create these wireless LEDs and the following steps to turn them into our spheres. Okay, for the wireless LED project, the components that we're going to use here is going to be a 2.2 millihenry surface mount inductor. This little guy it's around a 1206 or 1208. I'm not really positive. It didn't have a specific footprint size, but it's roughly 3 millimeter by 4 millimeter. We're going to need a 220 picofarad capacitor. These are I decided to go with as small as I could possibly get, as small as I would comfortably want to be able to solder these. These are 0603. They're an 0603 package style 220 picofarad capacitor. And then we have our 0603 bright white LED. These are equally as tiny as what we were seeing there for the capacitors. They're just super small. And we'll actually be putting these together under the microscope so that we don't have to worry about straining our eyes too badly. The way that these are actually going to go together is on the inductor. On these little inductors, we will actually, the pads that would normally be used to mount these onto the circuit board, we'll actually mount both the LED and the capacitor directly onto the inductor, and that allows us to create the circuit without any form of actual circuit board or anything extra. It gives us the ability to make the smallest possible component while still producing a really nice bright component. The advantage with the 0603 style size components for the LED and for the capacitor is that they are really small and also really low current. They're still really bright, but they're low current, so even this small little inductor is able to generate enough, is able to absorb enough power from the RF to be able to excite the LED and glow. So we'll get these put together under the scope and we'll see how they work. First, we're going to use a little bit of blue tack to stick this down onto the surface. We're going to have the pads facing up so that we can adhere the parts to it. We go through and use a hot soldering iron and apply a little bit of solder to each of the two pads to prepare to apply our components. We're going to set up an 0603 capacitor so that we can solder the two sides of this. Now we're going to remelt the solder that we just applied and apply a little bit more. I don't have any flux, so we're just using the flux core solder to adhere this down. Now that we have both sides of the capacitor soldered down, we can bring in the LED. Once we set the LED in, we want to go through and reflow the solder once again and get the LED to stick down. And we'll go through and clean this up and reflow the solder to get both components in good positions and adhere them well down. If you notice, there's actually enough room on top of this to be able to stick down a second one if we really wanted to. So we could actually utilize both parts of the signal. There we go. So as you can see, this is the two lights after we have finished creating them. Showed you under the microscope how everything was assembled, and now we have and the circuit diagram as far as what is put together to create these. If you like these videos, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can continue watching as we do more of this series and working on the spheres from the Stormlight series. This should be a real fun project, and we should end up with a real fun product at the end. See you next time.